It was about last year when I decided to rewatch the entirety of the Eureka 7 series because the only time before that was various clips on YouTube or just Toonami in general area. I think Toonami had two runs of Eureka 7 and I never got the chance to watch the entirety of both of them. So I took the time upon myself to say, hey, maybe I should just watch Eureka 7 once again just to, get the whole series into my brain. And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy the series, and it was an excellent series. Like the fact that the whole it's a love story really, but Mecha's in the background. But I think what really caught me off guard is the fact that how invested I got in with the characters, and especially Rinten and Eureka. Like the fact that their entire love plot wasn't like just shoved into the background or just glossed over like some other anime does. No, the whole series was based off their love story. And the fact that, like, I never really liked love stories anyway, but I got so invested into it that I was like, I want to see this to the end. And it was an excellent series. Great music, great characters. There were some characters I wish that could have been, done more better, like, more members of the Gecko State that really didn't get, no interactions or no development or anything, but the series wasn't bad. It really made you think about some things, and it did look good too for its time, especially for 2005 anime, 2005 2006 anime. It really looked good. But then you get the expanded material of Eureka 7. That means, let's say, the manga and the light novels, the movies, AO, the sequel to the series. And I don't know why this keeps happening with Eureka 7. Because for whatever reason, it looks like Studio Bones is trying to just like they have the franchise and they keep remaking it or retelling it or reimagining it. And every single attempt does not work. Like, if anything, every single attempt drags the name of the Eureka 7 series through the dirt. And it gets even worse with the newest High Evolution movie, which is why I'm even making this video. And, okay, let's just start. Let's start from the very beginning. I would start with Pocket Full of Rainbows. I guess that should be the first part I start. Pocket Full of Rainbows was a movie I talked about before. The movie was weird. Like, it changed around so much in the series that it kind of like it's essentially a retelling, an alternate timeline, if you were to say. Eric is a robot this time around. Rent is a military kid. A bunch of her plot stuff got shifted around out now. Nirvash is like a larva now. Like, it can like transform into the robot Nirvash. And it's what else? Oh yeah, Gecko is like a bunch of they were actually like children who are stuck in their like adult bodies or something of that sort. And the movie was just all over the place, and it was confusing. Like the movie was really confusing. Like, it wasn't like incoherent. You could understand the story of the movie, but like at the same time, you couldn't like understand why all these things were happening. Like especially like Erica being a robot and Anime being a robot. Like they didn't have to change it from being Corallians to that. Like it essentially was the same thing. Like, they're messengers, and they're like they're human versions of those aliens we've been seeing. Like, the Corallians are just the humanoid looking versions of them. It's essentially the same thing. They said that Renten and Erica connect each other through their dreams, which they kind of did in the original series, but whatever. And there's that damn scene where Happen Stoner got killed, and I was like, what? But Pocket Full of Rainbows was a weird movie. I don't know of why an alternate take would have been great for the very first movie. Like, I don't know what they were trying to go for, especially when they were hinting that it could connect to the main series with Erica and Renten's, their names on the moon, which happened at the end of the original series. So I don't know what they were aiming for with that one. I don't know, man. I just don't know. So even moving on from that, we got Eureka 7 AO or AO. And the sequel that no one asked for, like about Ren 10 and like a son, Ao Fukai, or Al Thurston, whatever you want to call him. And Al wasn't good. Like, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen, but it did not need to exist, especially when it just deviates so hard from the original series that it just doesn't even resemble anymore. It's like someone took like a new series and just called it Eureka 7 just to get people to watch it. And the only thing he's really going to see is like, okay, you see Ren 10 close near to the end of the series. You don't see Eureka for most of the series. Nirvash is kind of there, and all of their characters are just bland and lifeless. Like, even the Gecko doesn't even show up anymore. And I know they're alive, they're around. They just don't exist in Eureka 7 AO for whatever reason. And yeah, Eureka 7 AO just makes, like, they even had to make an OVA just try to like, alleviate some complaints they have at the main series' ending. And the OVA was a little better, but it wasn't like, it wasn't needed. You know, AO was not needed at all. Like, I understand, like, you know, people want to make money and shit. I totally understand that. But the ending was, the story was already bad, and then like the ending of the show didn't really help much. Like, no one really liked it all that much. And then, you know, Bones even went to the process of actually was like, you know what, we're gonna make an ending called One More Time. Like, what it was like, what, 4, 5, 6 years later, I think. I don't remember, but it was too little, too late. And even after all of that, it still wasn't point. Still was no point of AO. Really, it was none. But moving on from AO, then you get like the light novels and the manga. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the light novels and the manga aren't that bad. Like, well, I haven't read much of the light novels, but the manga isn't that bad. It's actually kind of dark, really. Like, and I don't know, the manga ain't that bad. It ain't the worst thing I've seen, but it's not bad. It's not. I can deal with this more than Pocket Full of Rainbows or AO. And then you get to the High Evolution movies, which are, in my opinion, a gigantic waste of time. Now, if somebody enjoyed these High Evolution movies, you know, good for you. You know, I'm not gonna hear diss people for liking the movies, but I'm with my own thoughts of why I didn't like the High Evolution movies. So there's gonna be 3 movies, in the sense that they're alternate, you know, continuity versions of the original series. So in the same vein of Rebuild of Evangelion, which Rebuild of Evangelion originally had 3 movies, now it has 1 more left coming out, hopefully next year. The High Evolution movies are supposed to be a set of 3 movies, and they're supposed to be just like it's a retelling of the anime. But I was in the back of my head, I was thinking there was no way they're gonna, you know, do exactly do a complete retelling of this series. Like, I was expecting like they were gonna do like what Rebuild Evangelion did and just like skew off into their own thing and make like the whole movies connect to each other. But so far, both of the High Evolution movies do not connect to one another, and I will explain why. So for High Evolution 1, it basically was, for the first like 30 minutes or so of the movie, it explains the backstory of Adrock Thurston and Eureka, which was glossed over in the main series, which was a good thing, because it was one complaint that a bunch of people had about the series, that we didn't know crap. We didn't see anything about Adrock Thurston. We didn't see anything of him. We didn't get to know what he did. Like, you know, we didn't know much of him. At the best, we only saw him in a flashback. Like, not even a flashback, my bad. Some dream sequence with him and Ren 10, and he didn't even speak a word. But this time, you know, Adrock's the main character. But then, after those 30 minutes, the aspect ratio of the movie changes. And it turns out that the first High Evolution movie is now a clip show of the original show. Around season 2, so it was around the time I think Charles and Ray were around. And it's essentially became a clip show of that. It's like some kind of like playback thing. Like, oh, we play this event and we rewind back to an event that happened in the show and play that. It was really disorienting. and completely out of left field. And on top of that, the events of the movie were out of order. The events of the show that were played in the movie were out of order. So like, oh, let's give I'm gonna give like an example, like not an example in the movie, but like let's say like an example of the show, like, oh, this is Eureka getting saved by Ren 10 at the end of the series. That can be played at the beginning of the movie, and then out of nowhere, right afterwards, it can show Ren 10 at that rave party he was in, like right before he right shortly after he left the Gecko. Like it could be like that. It's like it's disorienting, and it's like they had just enough animation for just the ad rock parts, and they just gave up and just made it a clip show. Now, the one thing Eureka 7 has a problem with, well, it had a problem like this when Pocket Full of Rainbows, is reusing animation. Now, I can understand reusing animation could be a good way to save money, but it doesn't have to be so obvious. Like, there are moments in Pocket Full of Rainbows that reuse animation from the original series completely out of context, and they're blatantly from those shows. Like, for example, Ren 10, like, remember when Ren 10 got crazy and just started killing all those people? Like, not killing all those people, but he went nuts in the Nirvash and he killed that person. That's in the movie. It's in Pocket Full of Rainbows for no reason. They just threw it in there. Like, there's no context for it. I guess it was in there to show that Ren 10 was a military kid, but it didn't really give any context. That moment was like actually important somewhat, because, you know, it was somewhat important to the original series. But with the movie, it's just like they just added that scene there just because they could, and they added like a lot of scenes, like, you know, just them, like the characters flying around, or just scenes that do not belong in the movie. And for whatever reason, Pocket Full of Rainbows just looks washed out as hell. Like, I don't know why the movie looks so washed out, but I'm not gonna talk about that. But yeah, the first High Evolution movie did not give me any really big hope for the second movie, because they had the ability to make the movie. Like, they didn't have to just make the movie about Ad Rock. Ad Rock and Eureka's part could have just been the intro to the movie. Like, and then they could have shifted out to a brand new story. Like, it could have shifted out to, well, Ren 10 is meeting Eureka for the first time, and then, you know, they could have skewed off from that. But then the second movie has got to be the worst of Eureka 7. Like, I hate this movie. Like, the second High Evolution movie, I hate this more than Pocket Full of Rainbows or OW, because of how much it just craps all over the original series. Like, every series. So apparently, the second movie declares that, okay, so the second movie is about Eureka, right? Eureka and Anime. And Anime going through some crap. Now she has a new backstory now, apparently. And Eureka is now some kind of entity now. Like the name Eureka 7 is like events that actually happen across the globe. It's like a term that describes massive explosions that went across the globe that killed billions of people. Okay, so they're called the Eureka 7 events or something like that. And Eureka now has this silver box that essentially turns her into some kind of god being. And in this in her way, in this universe that in the movie, Ren 10 is dead. So Eureka keeps creating new timelines to make sure Ren 10 doesn't die in one of them. And these attempts were the reason that these Eureka explosions go off. So Eureka's a god now. She keeps creating new timelines, and every time she creates one, Eureka explosions go off. Okay, fine. I can kind of deal with it. And even in her with the silver box was the main reason she killed Ren 10. So she keeps trying to find a way to bring him back. You know, she made the mistake of killing Ren 10, so she keeps trying to bring him back. The main problem with these new timelines, you know, concept is the fact that this movie declares that every timeline that Eureka has created is not true. Which means the original series was just a dream Eureka had. The original series, the original Eureka 7, was just a dream. Just an alternate timeline. OW was just a dream. Pocket Full of Rainbows was just a dream. The manga and light novels weren't real. None of the Eureka 7 movies or series or the original series was ever canon to begin with. In the High Evolution movies, at least the second one is apparently the true canon of the series. And that's where I immediately tapped out. I mean, I finished the movie, but that's where I immediately tapped out. And this was the moment I just realized that this series was never going to be saved. Because it just out of nowhere declared that, oh yeah, did you know the original series, the original 51 episodes? Or 50 episodes, I cannot remember. It was 50 or 51. Did you know that the original 50 episode run wasn't real? It was just a delusion of Eureka trying to bring Renton back? Or, Pocket Full of Rainbows, you know that movie you wasted your time on, almost 2-hour movie you wasted your time on, that wasn't real? Or Owl wasn't real? Or the light novels and manga weren't real? I do like when series brings like elements from different parts of canon into their stories, but not like this. Like, I don't know what they were going for when they made this decision. The fact that, oh yeah, every event in Eureka 7 wasn't real. Not even like in the fact that even in the original series wasn't canon. So the very first series that ever started was just a delusion of Eureka trying to bring Renton back. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I get the point. I know the point of the movie is the concept of loss. You know, trying to deal with the fact that if you lost someone and now they're giving you the power to try to bring them back. Would you bring them back and damage the world as a result, or just leave it alone and move on with your life? I get the point of the movie. I get the theming. Even an anime goes through, even though an anime doesn't even need to be in this movie, to be honest. Like, an anime is kind of largely not needed, despite the movie being named after her. Like, Eureka's the main thing of the movie, but I get the theming, but this is not how you do it. You do not just go out your way and just say, oh yeah, did you know that every event that ever happened in the entire series was just a fake? And from this alone, it just made me realize how pointless all this is. Like, they just don't care about Eureka 7 no more. They just want to make a profit. I don't even know why they keep trying to remake this series. People had that same, feeling about, oh man, why are they rebuilding Evangelion? Why are they doing this? Why are they making mangas again? Like, at least with Evangelion, it's not like some big major thing, The only major retelling of Evangelion that actually made some kind of headway was Rebuild. I mean, not the mangas, not the games, like none of that. They really didn't care. It was just a simple video games. But Eureka 7 went, and then even Rebuild didn't even try to say the original series or any other continuities of series like that Apocalypse Gakuen series or the Ayanami Raising Project. They didn't try to drag that into the Rebuild series and say, oh yeah, that wasn't canon. But nah, freaking Eureka 7 just gave up. Every time, they have the product. They knew Eureka 7 was popular. They knew the series was good, and that's why they keep trying to just build upon it and remake it and reimagine. It feels like the original creators didn't enjoy the series they made, and so they keep trying to remake it over and over and over again, just to satisfy themselves and no one else. And they're just milking the name. The High Evolution movies didn't exist. They didn't need to exist. Owl didn't need to exist. Pocket Full of Rainbows didn't need to exist. They keep just screwing with the series, and it sucks. It really hurts to see Eureka 7, a really good series back in 2005, just keeps getting dragged through the dirt like this. At least with some other series, they didn't try to go this far and trying to gimp the series to the point where it's just unrecognizable anymore. Comparing all these movies, in the sequel, and just comparing all the movies, including High Evolution, Pocket Full of Rainbows, and AO, they don't even resemble Eureka 7 no more. Like here's my main problem with that is how they did well with the first High Evolution movie part where they had Ad-Rock Thurston. They clearly know that there are some unexplored things about the main series that people liked. People like that Ad-Rock part, but then immediately just shifted back into a retelling of the original series out of order. And I think I'm just done. Like, the original series is untouchable. It's a really great series. There's some problems with it, but it's not. It was special. It's not the best series ever. Like, it is a good series. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's not like the second coming of Jesus or something like that. Like, Eureka 7 was an excellent series, but every like sequels, movies, more movies, expanded material, like they don't replace Eureka 7. They don't expand upon it either. The only thing they do is just hurt the original series. And High Evolution 2 really felt like the culmination of all of this. The creators just given up. They just quit and just said, yeah, this is the movie of true canon, get over it. And I'm just, oh my god. I mean, if anyone's out there watching this video, please watch the original Eureka 7 series again. I would recommend you do that, because these movies and the expanded material is not doing the series any justice, and I hate to say that because I love this series, but man, this is not the way to go. This is not the way to go, Bones. I don't like you for this. I hate what Studio Bones has done to this series. Honestly, like the series now just feels like a lifeless husk of what it once was, and I'm not having it no more.